Okay, so one of the problems that we have all the time is making sure that our probes run accurately. And so I'm making just a quick series of videos on how to just kind of get started with the mill, and especially with the probes. So using some of our machines and some of the problems that we have, we're able to maybe come back and make some of these videos so that we can make problems go away faster and get through the processes just a little bit quicker. One of the things that we have when we set up our probes and get those probes going is that just kind of keeping some constant calibration in your probes, because we have a lot of people touching these things. So we have our daytime students who are using them, and then we'll have our nighttime students who are coming in and using them. Typically, everything runs really smooth with them, but there are definitely those days where we have a crash or we have a bump. Just some of the things that happen throughout the day. That's part of the process of knowing how to make sure that everything, that's just part of the learning processes. So one of the things that I wanted to do today was just to make a quick video on how to make sure that our Ruby and our stem is running true. So if you're running the tool probe or the work probe and you've set up on a job and maybe you incorrectly put something in, you picked the wrong corner, you made a mess up somewhere, and so this thing gets broken off. It's not a big deal. It's not something to try for, but it's not a big deal. So you've replaced this, and now you want to make sure that it's running true. And so to replace it, all we do is this thing comes off. We've got two holes that go through here. Stick a small Allen wrench, like a 2mm Allen wrench in there. Tighten that up. Get that thing back on there, and then we want to stick an indicator in a vise. Vise doesn't even have to be indicated, it just has to be on there. But what we want this thing to do is we want this to run nice and true. And you can see right now we've got about a solid thou run out on this. And so what we want to do is get this thing running just a little bit truer. The more accurate it is now, the more accurate it's going to be for our parts. So here we are on each end. Looks like most of our problems coming in this direction. So what I may be able to do is just push on this just a little bit or back it off just a little bit to figure out where I need to be. So it looks like about half thou past the 15 is where I need to be. And so there I'm there, and I'm there, and get this one snug. It's probably worth it to take the time to make sure that this is done right, just so you can get better accurate touch-offs. One thing that we don't want to do is try to shortcut some things that cause us having some other problems as we go later on. I think almost all of our problems come from just not knowing how to do some of the operations and processes. Don't forget what you're doing. You're learning how to do all these things. Okay, running pretty close now. So from this point on, I can go through my tool or my work probe calibration process. I want to make sure that this Ruby is running just as smooth and as true as I can. And all I've done was take an indicator in one of our adapters, just chucked it up in the vise, and now I can run through as many as I want. One thing that you do before you move into that calibration process, you want to make sure that you've got good batteries in your work probes and your tool probes.